What's up, guys? It's Thaggerty, and today I'm going to talk to you about where I get my vocals from. So if you've been listening to my tracks on Spotify, or if you haven't listened to them before, go listen to them. But I have a few tracks where I've gotten original vocals from singers that I've hired, and those songs are Give It To You and Still Here off of my Master Plan EP, and the song Stuck On You off of my Lovers EP that just came out earlier this week. And so how did I hire these artists? Well, I actually use this site called SoundBetter.com, and I think last year they were acquired by Spotify. I don't think anything's changed about the service since Spotify acquired them, but I've used it several times, and I think every time was really great. Each of those singers that I worked with that ended up on my actual songs were ultra professional, really kind people, and they were super receptive to suggestions I had. And one of the artists that actually did the vocals for Give It To You, she just went ahead and rewrote the lyrics for me, even though that wasn't something that I had requested, and I liked her lyrics a lot better, so we just went with her lyrics and her vocals, and I think it turned out really great. There was the first artist I worked with. It was really interesting. So they had worked with a couple of other much bigger EDM artists, and so I was kind of pumped to work with them. But things got really difficult trying to sort out payment, because they wanted me to pay them off of the site and then pay them before delivering the vocal, and things just got weird, and I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna go in a different direction. But the other artists that I worked with were all super cool to work with. They used the site as it was intended to be used, and if you're not familiar with the service, basically what happens is you fund the money up front. So they charge you once you start the job with this person and they've agreed to do the work for you, but you don't actually pay them until the work is done, or you've marked it as done. So both sides can have disputes with the site itself, and I'm sure there's recourse if anything goes awry during the whole arrangement. But the general idea is you've put the money up front, so they're not at risk of not getting paid, but then you're also not at risk of not getting the service you asked for because they don't actually receive the money until it's done. So I think this is a really cool arrangement that fixes a lot of problems when you're doing this kind of work where things are not heavily regulated, or there's not a clear order of how to do things, and so on and so forth. And most of the experience I've had is really positive. I can definitely recommend this site, and it's really good too because there's other services like Vocal Kitchen that I talked to Mr. Belt and Weasel about on Twitter, and they were saying they use this service, and you'll notice their prices for an acapella are a lot higher than what a lot of the artists on SoundBetter are charging. So if you want to spend $200 or $300 for a vocal and get something that's pretty a lot better than what I could do, or probably what a lot of producers could do on their own, or just recording a friend, then I think it's definitely a great way to go. Alternatively, there's also Splice or sample packs, and I've definitely used those a lot. I think the song Play off my EP, The Master Plan, was a sample. Yeah, I'm mostly using the Splice stuff as kind of filler vocals, like a pre-drop woo or something like that. But there can be some good acapellas in there. I've heard a lot of good tracks on Spotify and what have you that are using a Splice vocal as the main lead vocal, and it sounds really great. So that's typically how I get my vocals. I also really like to record them as often as I can. Of course, it's hard for me to feature my own vocals because I'm not a professional singer, but I usually try and do some kind of processing or something to make them sound cool. On my song The Master Plan, off of The Master Plan, I've got my own vocals, and then also on I Know You Want This off of the Lovers EP, I took a Splice vocal for the main I know you want this part, and then I sang my own vocal afterwards and put it through a vocoder. And so I kind of started with the Splice vocal as an idea, and then I added my own vocals to make it my own unique thing that nobody else has. So that's kind of like the avenues I've gone so far. What I'd like to move into is like working directly with artists and then releasing a song together as like a joint project, rather than just like hiring somebody and then they're nameless on my track. Yeah, maybe exploring like other services besides SoundBetter. However, it's worked really great for me so far. So yeah, anyways, that's basically the whole story to how I get my vocals, at least up until this point. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making more videos about how I make music and how other parts of my process work. Cheers. See you in the next one.
Come on.